Hi everyone, welcome to the first Keptn community and developer meeting in 2021. Happy New Year everyone, and welcome to this slightly condensed version of our developer meetings. We try to compress the content a little bit to make it a bit more efficient and to save some time in these meetings. We continue to keep them weekly and we continue to start at the same time. So first change, as we want to keep track of everyone is also joining these kind of meetings. Please add your name when you're joining the meeting. Please add your name in the meeting document so we can also keep track of who is joining these meetings and who is also contributing and maybe giving feedback to the Keptn community. So I'll just start right here with my name. And I will also share this document in the Zoom chat. So if you're online, please just add your name so we will see this list growing, hopefully. For the agenda for today, we just have a couple of short updates. So first of all, we are really excited that Keptn in the alpha version for 0.8 has been already released. Please note that it's not a version that should be used in production already. It's intentionally tagged alpha, so it's an alpha version where we really request and we ask for your feedback. So if you want to try it out already, if you want to see all the new features and improvements, bug fixes of the latest version, we provide here the link. It has also been already shared in our Slack channel. So please be aware that it's an alpha version. It should not be used yet in production, but it has a lot of new and great features. Please give it a try. And for the next meeting in 1 week's time, we will also dig deeper into this version and share more insights of the new features of this version. I was briefly mentioning the Keptn Slack, but we also shared some information on this version. There was a hiccup on our shortcut to Slack. It's always slack.keptn.sh, and thanks to Andreas who discovered this hiccup, it was not working for a couple of days since the link expired, but this is fixed now and it should be working again. So if you're new to Keptn, you can now go to slack.keptn.sh and you will be automatically able to sign in to the Keptn Slack. So with this, I'm already handing over to Florian so he can share some of his new additions to the Keptn project. And afterwards, I will just share what we're going to see in the next meeting.
All right, thank you, Jürgen. Let me just share my screen. Of course, also from my side, Happy New Year to everyone. And today I do not have a lot to show you because it was my first day back in the office in the new year, but nevertheless I have 3 points I want to briefly show you. So the first one was quite an important one because as you know from the previous meetings, we ran out of credits on Travis, and therefore we started the migration towards GitHub Actions for our build pipelines. First, we did that for the Keptn repository, and shortly before Christmas, we also did the same for all the keptn-contrib services. So for example, for the Dynatrace service or Prometheus service, as you see here. And now if you have a look at a pull request, you will now see that all of the checks and necessary steps used to verify a pull request are now executed on GitHub Actions. So now all the review doc checks and the unit tests, and also of course the Docker build and the push to Docker Hub will now be executed on GitHub Actions. Do you have any questions about that? All right, if not, let's continue with the next one. So the next one was a small extension to the remediation service. Yeah, basically since we now use a new event format for the upcoming version 0.8, where we link all finished events to the correlating triggered events used by using a triggered ID. We also needed to adapt that logic to the events related to the remediation workflow. So now all the remediation.status changed and remediation.finished events will now also contain that triggered ID property that will point to the event ID of the remediation.triggered event that started the complete remediation workflow. Any questions about that?
So this is maybe a little bit unrelated, but have you defined a sequence for the remediation flow for Keptn 0.8? So is this a sequence which only exists of remediation?
Currently, the remediation workflow is a little bit decoupled from the remaining shipyard file, because we basically it uses a different logic, because the remediation workflow is defined in the remediation.yaml file, and all the other task sequences are located in the shipyard file. And basically we did that because otherwise the amount of changes that we introduced in 0.8 would have gotten too extensive, and that's why we kept this current way of handling remediations. But going forward, of course, we are going to evaluate how we can streamline the definition of the remediation and remaining task sequences.
Right, but still in the shipyard, this would be a single. This would be a sequence with a single entry, which is called remediation. Because the remediation triggered will be sent out by the shipyard controller, right?
No, in that case, the way it works is when, for example, either the Dynatrace service or the Prometheus service will send out a problem.open event that will directly go to the remediation service, and then that one will check if there's a remediation YAML available, and then that one will also send the remediation.triggered event.
Right, okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, and now to my third issue. So this is actually a pretty neat one, because as we have pointed out a couple of times, the format of the shipyard YAML files will change quite drastically when we are going to switch to Keptn version 0.8. And that's why we also identified that we have the need of providing upgrade functionality that is easy to use within the Keptn CLI in order to upgrade previous projects that have been created with Keptn versions smaller than 0.8 to the upcoming latest version. And the way that will work is you will then be able to say Keptn upgrade project, then the name of the project. Then you can specify that you want to upgrade the shipyard file. You can specify a from version and the to version. And what that command will do, it will fetch the current shipyard file from the configuration service or from the Git repository for that project. And it will inspect it, try to parse it, and check if everything is okay with that. And then based on the information within that shipyard file, it will generate a new shipyard file that will be compatible with Keptn 0.8. And yeah, basically you will also get a log output that will show you the current version of the shipyard file and then what will come out of it. So basically here we have this old format, and then the new one with all the stages that were defined in the previous shipyard, and then it will also contain a list of sequences that will enable you to use all the previous use cases. So for example, for the artifact delivery or the evaluation. And then you will, if that looks okay to you, you will have the option to confirm the automatic upgrade. And then the CLI will upload that new generated shipyard to your project. And from there on, you will be able to also use that project with Keptn 0.8. We have also considered the use case of using that command within automations. So by providing the -y flag, you can skip that approval step, and the shipyard file will be updated automatically. And I think that's not here in the issue, but if you look at the pull request, you will see that I've also added a dry run flag that will basically prevent the generated shipyard from being uploaded automatically. So if you just want to check how your new shipyard file is going to look, you can pass that flag to the command, and then nothing will be updated. But you can still check if everything is okay, and if you then feel confident that this is the shipyard you want to use going forward, then you can again execute the upgrade command without that flag, and then it will update the files accordingly. All right. Are there any questions about that feature?
I think it's really helpful. I have one question. So can we see the command again that you will execute? And will it look for a local shipyard file, or it will use the shipyard file that is part already of the of this project, and will download it, modify it, and upload it?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the latter is the case. So that command will use the Keptn API to fetch the actual shipyard that is stored in the Git repository for that project, and we'll use that to generate the new one.
Okay, so there is no need to have to make sure that the shipyard is actually the correct one that is downloaded. Exactly. And my second question is, I guess it's intentionally, but we declare it here that we want to move from version 0.1 to version 0.2 instead of using the Keptn versions here, something like 7.3 to 0.7.3 to 0.8. Is this because we have a different versioning scheme for this? For
the shipyard files, we do have different versions because basically all the Keptn versions up until 0.8 use the same shipyard version, which we now decided to be 0.1, and the next version that will be compatible with Keptn 0.8 will be called 0.2. So those are decoupled.
Mm-hmm.
But one minor note here. This boils down to the same question whether we should use the same versioning number for the Keptn Spec as we do have for Keptn itself. So Keptn Spec will be version 0.2, and Keptn itself has version 0.8, and we asked ourselves whether we should streamline this.
Yeah, I can totally understand, because we do have a lot of different versions. We have the Keptn version. Then when we release an EAP of the bridge, we have a different bridge version. And we have the Keptn installation, we have the Keptn CLI, we have the Keptn specification, we have the contributions, and the sandbox services, and all of them can follow their own versioning scheme, which is in general, which is by design okay, but for everything that goes into Keptn core, it might be a little bit confusing. So we have also others here joining the call. If you have any ideas, if you experience and on versioning schemes from specification and implementation, just please let us know. I try to allow all the microphones here, so just speak up if you have any ideas and any suggestions. Do you have a suggestion, Andreas, how to approach this?
Yeah, we can simply decide to move the new spec version to 0.8. So this is not a problem. Because it's not GA out yet, so we can do this.
I added as an question item to our meeting notes.
Cool.
That should be followed up. Okay. And one last question. Does it in any way check on the cluster version of Keptn? So if there is, or how do we think about the transition from Keptn 7.3 or 0.7 to 0.8? Do we first have to change the shipyard file and then do a Keptn upgrade? Or do we first do a Keptn upgrade and then do the upgrade of the shipyard file? Is there any sequence that has to be followed if we want to upgrade an already running Keptn installation?
That's a good question. I think the better approach would be to first update the Keptn cluster version and the CLI previously, of course, and then once that has been done, apply the upgrade command.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is something that this command should also check if the cluster version is already .8, because if not, then the shipyard file would not work anymore. And obviously they should go hand in hand, but maybe it's something that we can add as a hint to the user. Please first upgrade the Keptn cluster version and then upgrade the shipyard file.
Yeah, we actually already have a more generic version of that functionality. So in the upcoming version, the CLI will always check if its own version matches with the version of the Keptn cluster, and then display a warning message if that is not the case. So we do have that functionality in place.
Okay.
Cool. But still, to be fair or honest, the upgrade process or the upgrade steps, we need to work on those and we need to define those. So it's not implemented yet. And we will define a list of steps which a user has to take to get from 0.7 to 0.8.
Exactly. So this upgrade command is only one piece of the puzzle, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If there are no further questions, I think I've discussed all my issues for that week, and that means I will hand over to Jürgen again.
Thank you. So I'm sharing again, hopefully the right screen. Okay, so I just made a note about this question that we should at latest discuss it also in the next meeting, or async on Slack, so that we come up with a solution. We also have new members of the Keptn community joining. It's Pratik. Hopefully I pronounced the name correctly. Nice to have you also joining in our Keptn developer meetings. If you have any questions or if you want to do a quick introduction, please feel free to unmute the mic and just yeah, say hello to the Keptn community.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Pratik Tripathi. I have been in the Keptn Slack channel for some time. Like I joined in December, but this is the first time I'm joining your meet, and I'm just getting started. I have seen the repo, and honestly, I don't have much of an experience, but I'm looking forward to contribute. And yeah, I'll just try and get used to what you people do over here. It will be great.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining. And if you have any questions on using Keptn or starting contributing to Keptn, just let us know also during the week outside of these meetings in the Keptn Slack, and we are happy to help. And also next week, so I'm already moving to the next part of our agenda, to the last part for today. For next week, we will have I assume we will be in a bit larger group here because we need to focus a little bit more on Keptn 0.8 on the alpha release, sharing insights how to move external services, move contribution services and services from the sandbox to the latest version of Keptn. And also we have Niklas from the Keptn community presenting a new addition to Keptn, which is pretty cool. So if you're running on macOS, then you can also install the Keptn CLI via Homebrew. So I think it only works on macOS. I'm not sure if it only works on Linux, but it's a very convenient way to download and install the Keptn CLI. And actually, I was just talking to him today, and hopefully next week he will be available and present this in this meeting. So basically, this will be our next two bigger items for the next meeting, and obviously also what has been done during the week, during the next week. Are there any questions or comments? Pratik, I just go ahead and also mention your name as you have been joining this meeting today.
Yeah, I'll just get used to, and I'll ask you, I'll ping you in the Slack whenever I come across any questions. All right.
Cool. Yeah, then thanks everyone for joining this week's meeting. Please also note that we still have our planning board on GitHub. So if you want to contribute, we have a lot of good first issues that are tagged on our GitHub repository. Just go to github.com/keptn/keptn, and you can also find good first issues if you want to start contributing there. So thanks a lot for today. Have a great rest of the day and rest of the week, and see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.